Guys, what's going on? Hello and welcome to Serial at Midnight. I'm Heath, and it is that time again. We're talking about every single Kino Lorber release for the month of August 2022. We actually have two stacks, some new 4Ks, some sweet Chuck Norris stuff. It always runs a spectrum. This is my joy in talking about Kino Lorber because it is such a wide sampling of cinema history, and they send this to me so I can show you, and I'm so grateful that I'm in this position to do this. So let's just dive right into it. We got a lot of ground to cover. Paths of Glory. We have another Kubrick 4K release. This is the third Kubrick 4K in as many months. This follows on the heels. This is a 1957 movie. We started a few months ago with Killer's Kiss from 1955. That was followed by 1956's The Killing. Dedicated review for this here on the channel. And now we have 1957's Paths of Glory. We have this rare opportunity to sort of revisit and reevaluate Kubrick's early era, right? This is before, this is before Spartacus. This is before all the huge success that would come later. This is a young filmmaker finding his voice. And I'm not going to get too, I want this video to be as short as possible because the shorter, here's behind the scenes. The shorter the video, the more approachable it is for an audience. And I want as many people to see this as possible. So reviews will pop up for this at CerealAtMidnite.com. By the way, if you wonder if I've ever talked about a movie, head to CerealAtMidnite.com and there's a review archive. You can also search for any movie, and if I've talked about it, it'll pop up there. 4K quality, it's great. This is shot on film, right? So anything that's shot on film, when scanned and restored properly, is going to run circles around anything that's regular 1080p presentation. There is reversible artwork on this. The Blu-ray case itself, so that gives some added value to the slipcover, which is, they're always limited, right? So we have brand new 4K. It does have HDR, by the way, from a 4K scan of the original camera negative, so you know it's going to look good because it comes from the OCN. Audio commentary by novelist and critic Tim Lucas, and the theatrical trailer. So this joins the stack of more Kubrick on 4K. This was exciting for me because I'm a Chuck Norris fan. We have a triple hit of Chuck Norris. I'm going to do these in order. So we have Good Guys Wear Black from 1978. Alternate artwork. In fact, it'd be easier for me to just hold these up and you can freeze frame if you want to see everything, if you want to read the descriptions for these and see the special features. The notable thing here, some of these movies have been available before in other editions. These are new 2K scans for all three of these, I believe. Yeah. In fact, when we get to the Octagon, like I have the previous release of the Octagon. I think I've got the others on DVD possibly. Anyway, A Force of One from 1 year later, 1979. Another 2K scan. And they look great. This is the best these movies have ever looked since... I was going to say since they've left the theater, but even then, those of us who are of the film era will remember that within a few showings, that film print was starting to get dirty and it was getting scratches and it's not pristine anymore. And then the Octagon, which is a really fun movie. I love the Octagon. We got Lee Van Cleef here as well. Let's do some side-by-side comparison here. So audio commentary by film historians Brandon Bentley and Mike Leader. Okay, so the different commentaries here. Audio commentary by director Eric Carson. Okay, that's here, so that's probably carried over. It's the same one that's carried over. The Making of the Octagon, and theatrical trailer, TV spot, and radio spots. So new 2K scans on these. I love this particular era of Chuck Norris because... it's hard to compartmentalize different eras, but there are different eras. You've got the Canon stuff. You've got the, like the Delta Force era stuff. When you look at Invasion USA, that's a very different thing than Good Guys Wear Black. There's a period in the late 70s, right, where he's coming out of Bruce Lee. Like, he's a co-star in a Bruce Lee movie. And then by the end of the 70s, he's becoming this martial arts hero. And I don't know. It's probably my favorite era. It runs from like 78 to maybe 82, 83. But Silent Rage is in there as well. Anyway, that's a whole other topic. So I'm trying to keep it as breezy as possible. We have another peplum, you guys. You know how excited I am about these because this is one of the things I've been championing in my time here on YouTube. I've like, where are the peplum? So Italian sword and sandal movies chasing they're inspired by the big Bible movies of the 50s, but then they get filtered through Italian, what's the word I'm looking for? Sensibilities. Italian sensibilities. These are the same filmmakers that would soon be... Peplum transitions into spaghetti westerns, which then transitions into some of the cop, the crime movies of the era, which then can transition into horror. It's all happening at the same time, and a lot of it's the same people. You've got Sergio Leone doing Colossus of Rhodes, and then doing the Clint Eastwood Fistful of Dollars, all that stuff. So out of that comes Gordon Scott and Yoko Tani and Samson and the Seven Miracles of the World. Alternate title for this. Did it have an alternate title? So there's a Makiste at the court of the Great Khan. Khan, not Con. The Great Khan. This had an alternate AIP cut that was 76 minutes long, but this has both versions, that shorter AIP version and the full 98-minute uncut version. So that's great. They look great. And this is what I was saying. In my time here on YouTube, I have been championing these movies because they were the redheaded stepchildren of cult genre movies. They just weren't. No one had seen them. No one seemed to have any affection for them. That's changing. The further we get into what we're doing, we're starting to see these restored. So this is the second one of these that Kino Lorber has put out in the last couple of months. I hope that they are hugely successful. Some people ask me sometimes too, they're like, well, are they great? No, they're not great. They're Italian low budget. Well, they weren't always low budget, but they're genre movies, and they are, they're a very specific thing. But I love them, and you get various, like Bava, doing a Hercules movie. You get into these really strange areas in peplum and peplum can be a derogatory term, but I want to embrace it. Peplum can be dismissive. Those toga movies. I think that they're pretty great, and they're super ambitious, and they are lavish, and they are often very violent, and there's lots of skin. The idea is just to get these people in as few clothes as possible, and they're exploitation movies. They are exploitation movies. So there is yet another piece. Oh, it's the same. Okay, so here's the reversible artwork, has the this O-card art on it. So I don't know, great stuff. So the alternate cut, and you guys saw, right, that there's a commentary by Tim Lucas. All right, some of this stuff we're going to talk about here, I don't know much about. I haven't had a chance to really check it out yet, so we'll discover it together for the first time. Catch the Heat. This is interesting to me. One-woman strike force heats up the war on drugs. David Dukes, Tiana Alexander, and Rod Steiger. 1987. I have no awareness of this movie whatsoever, but it looks... this is where cover art can really sell a movie, right? Because if you're bopping down the video store aisle, as I used to do, you see this staring back at you, you're stopping and you're looking at it. It does have the altar. This is... that's okay, but this is super striking. So this is, it has a theatrical trailer and VHS preview trailer. That's interesting because that's what we're dealing with here, right? Is the VHS era. Who has seen this? What do you think about it? This is notable. Electric Glide in Blue. This went out of print from Shout Factory, about a year ago? Maybe two? Time was wibbly wobbly for me because I tend to, I don't know, I'm like, that was just a few months ago, right? And then someone like, that was 5 years ago. And I'm like, what was I taken? I have missing time. This is great because it is we're seeing this more and more, right? Things that had been out of print, people worried, oh, this is my last chance to get this. Boom, they're back in print. So it's bad for scalpers. I'm sorry, resellers, but they're not resellers, they're scalpers. It's bad for scalpers who are buying things in mass quantities and trying to sell them at a profit, but it's good for movie fans, and my loyalty is to movie fans. So we've got the alternate cover art here. This is the slipcover. I'll go ahead and flip this around and you can freeze that and check everything out. We've got commentaries. We've got 2 commentaries. We've got interviews. Great stuff. And I assume that these special features had to be licensed because when special features previously exist from a prior version, those have to be licensed. Those are paid for. So the fact that they're here is that's good. Okay. I'm excited about this one. Mysterious Island of Beautiful Women. Again, I know very little about this. It's got a commentary by author Amanda Reyes and Kinder Trauma co-founder Lance Vaughn. Now, I love Amanda Reyes' commentaries, especially on TV-related stuff. I think this is a TV movie. It's 1979, and it's not rated. So I'm like, well, that must be a TV movie. It's a new 2K master. I could listen to her talk about TV movie history and horror movie history endlessly. She is, and I am lucky enough, as busy as she is, I was able to I had to have a conversation with her. It's here on the channel. If I remember it, I'll link to it here. If not, it's in the description of this episode. I love this. Do we have alternate artwork? No, it's the same artwork. But we do have the commentary and trailers. Who has seen this? I'm telling you guys, August has been a crazy month for me, so I am a little bit behind on my viewing. And I like to have seen as much of this stuff as possible, usually when I make these videos. That didn't happen this month, so I'm kind of behind in my viewing. If you've seen some of this stuff, I want to know about it. Matahari, Sylvia Crystal in Matahari. This is a crazy, it's a canon movie, right? It's Golden Globus, yeah. 1985. It is, I've seen, again, I haven't seen the movie. I've seen footage of this movie in various documentaries. Is there alternate artwork here for this one? No. But 1985, we have commentary with David Del Valle, Nathaniel Bell, image gallery, theatrical trailer. Anything inside? A dangerous lover, a treacherous spy, a beautiful seductress. Summer Heat, Laurie Singer and Anthony Edwards. What year is this? This is 1987. Again, haven't seen it. I know very little about it, so this is one of those. This is gonna be a recurring theme. Is like, this looks great. We'll see it together. I don't want to read the back of these to you. I never want to be a YouTube channel that just reads the back of the box to you. You can read it yourself. I am interested in theatrical trailer and radio spot. They specifically named, well, Anthony Edwards. I'm trying to place this in the oeuvre, the career of Anthony Edwards, when this was related to Gotcha. All right, we're going on a classic run here. When Tomorrow Comes, Irene Dunne, Charles Boyer, produced and directed by John M. Stahl. This is a 1939 film from a new 2K master. It comes from Universal. You guys know that I love Universal movie history. I love all movie history, right? But Universal, the contract players at Universal speak to me. And maybe it's just the nature of that studio. Just really, the history of Universal is fascinating to me because coming out of horror, genre movies, then developing, I don't know, stuff like this. And then, when you get into the later 40s, guys like Tony Curtis start to come in. They start to come in. And you always can spot the Universal contract players. And whether the movie is exceptional or not, I just like watching actors that I enjoy. And even if they're not great, like you get a young Tony Curtis, I'll take that because I'm like, well, I just like these people, So anyway, this is a 1939 movie. Is there anything else I should tell you about it? Audio commentary with Lee Gambin and costume historian Alyssa Rose. Here's a good question. Who out there besides me enjoys these 30s and 40s studio pictures? I won't even limit it to Universal. I mean, it could be Warner Brothers. It could be RKO. It could be MGM or whatever. Who else likes and maybe you haven't even seen these because some of these are new to me. Margaret Sullivan. Little man, what now? Sounds like an insult. I don't mean to be dismissive. Little man, what now? I just love discovering these movies. This is a 1934 movie. I do not know if this qualifies as a pre-code because 34 is the dividing year, and it's really, I think, June of 34 that the code really starts to be enforced. We're talking about the Hays Code, the production code, the decency code. You watch movies before summer 1934, they're getting away with murder, nudity, and all kinds of stuff, especially nudity. Adult themes, people like snort and blow and like all kinds of stuff. And then 34, it gets very sanitized. And it's not black and white. That's a joke on it. It's a dad joke about black and white movies. It's not always black and white. It's a slow transition. You can even find, like, there are things. I've got a project that I'm involved in behind the scenes here. I can't say what it is, but it's a later 30s movie, and I'm stunned at the things that are happening in this 30s movie because I'm like, this is a code era movie. How is this here? Okay, so Margaret Sullivan. This is a Universal picture from Frank Borzage. Audio commentary by filmmaker Alan Arkish, which is very interesting to me, and film historian, filmmaker Daniel Kremer. Another 2K scan. So these are coming out of the Universal vaults. They are being taken very good care of. Universal always takes good care of what they have, which I appreciate. Not everyone. I think most of them try, but you look at somebody like Warner Brothers, and they're consistently, with the Warner Archive program, they're consistently restoring new things, but Universal has been taking care of their stuff for a long, long time. Tim Conway in They Went That-A-Way and That-A-Way. That's the weirdest. They Went That-A-Way. Am I saying that right? They Went That-A-Way and That-A-Way. I've never seen this. It's 1978. Richard Kiel is in this. Let's see. Comedy legend Tim Conway. I'm reading the back now. And Chuck McCann from Chomps. It's going to be the only parenthetical reference to Chomps, right? Did you guys see it? To Chomps. Here, I'm just going to hold that up and you guys can see it. But we do have a theatrical trailer. Who is in this? Tim Conway, Chuck McCann, Rennie Santoni, Timothy Blake, Lenny Montana, Dub Taylor, and special appearance by Richard Kiel. Hold on. It was written by Tim Conway. And... okay. Where's the director? Oh, it has two directors, directed by Edward J. Montagne and Stuart McGowan. All right. Who's seen that one? Let's talk about that one. The 10th Man, Anthony Hopkins and Kristen Scott Thomas. This is a 1988 film. And I don't know the origins of this one either, but I'm interested that it has two different aspect ratios, which I'm curious about. I'll have to do some research on that. Trailers are included in this as well. This should have been in the... well, I was going to say this should have been in the classic coverage. This is a 1960 movie. So this is The Trials of Oscar Wilde, Peter Finch, James Mason. This is directed by Ken Hughes, and it's... let's see, who's in this? Peter Finch with Yvonne Mitchell, James Mason, Nigel Patrick, Lionel Jeffries, and John Fraser. MGM film. All right, we're into the second stack. Trying to move quickly. Kill a Dragon, Jack Palance, Fernando Lamas, and Aldo Ray. Always great to get a new... well, I was going to say an Aldo Ray. Any of these guys. First of all, again, look at that cover art. This is just like screaming pulp. This is one of those sort of... the golden age of the paperback, and this is 1967. This is that classic looking art that you just see this and it makes you want to watch the movie. So this is a 1967 movie directed by Michael Moore, but not that Michael Moore. Not that guy. Soldier of Fortune. I'm going to read just the Soldier of Fortune. Jack Palance squares off against Warlord Fernando Lamas in an explosive action adventure. Kill a Dragon. Sounds cool. It only has a theatrical trailer, but hey, I'll take it. I'm just glad these movies are getting released at all. Oh no, we got another classic movie that didn't get included in the classic section. Next Time We Love. This is Margaret Sullivan, James Stewart. Who's James Stewart? I'm just kidding. Early James Stewart. James Stewart with Ray Milland. I kind of lost it there. Maybe when I get older, I'll age into a Jimmy Stewart. One who can really when you can really start to get into it. Brand new 2K master on this one. Another Universal from the Universal archives. What year is this? 1936. So it's not pre-code. But look at how young Jimmy Stewart is. I always call him Jimmy Stewart. I didn't know him. Obviously, I never met him. I know James Stewart is what his, it's like that's his name, but Jimmy Stewart. He's just Jimmy, America's sweetheart, Jimmy Stewart. Audio commentary on this one by Lee Gambin and costume historian Alyssa Rose. Again, we have a trailer. Loving these classic movies. Again, if you love the classic movies, and a lot of people talk about the other stuff. People always talk about genre movies. There's no shortage of YouTube coverage about horror, action, whatever. Spy movies. People are talking about these. I love seeing the resurgence of classic cinema talk. People are discovering these. I have a book called, I can't remember what the name of it is, but the premise of the book is like these are, and it's from the 80s, but it's like these movies are forgotten classics. They were great movies that nobody talks about anymore. They're being lost. And at that time, they were being lost because they weren't coming, this is the era when VHS is still getting a foothold. And it's so interesting to me that so many of those movies have come out in the last year to 2 years from companies like Kino Lorber, like really digging into the archives. And I'm like, oh, this is not obscure anymore. We just saw this. We just talked about this. It's a great time to be a movie fan. We're switching over now. This is from Kino Lorber, Kino Classics. This is Coming Apart. A big deal of a movie. I haven't seen it, but I've heard about this. It's Rip Torn, Sally Kirkland, Vivica Lindfors. It is a... Listen to this. Rip Torn gives one of the great screen performances as a psychiatrist, secretly filming his own mental breakdown in Milton Moses Ginsburg's classic exploration of dark eroticism and self-referential cinematic form. Anticipating the cell phone diaries of today, I realize I'm reading the back of the box, but I wanted you to hear this. The entire film is shot through a mirror from a single hidden camera in a one-room apartment. Over the course of several, okay, so that's the story. It's almost like a play, This is almost like, what would they call this? A two-hander. Listen to this too, because this is important as well. The acting is so explosive, it seemed uncontrolled, and can I even say this on YouTube right now? Let's say the erotic scenes. That's what I'm going to say. Have been described as real, and then I don't want to say that word either. Read the back for yourself. I'm going to freeze frame that, and you can read the back of it. Very interesting that this movie is finally getting a release. From the Paris premiere, an interview with Milton Moses Ginsburg in 2004. Rip Torn Memorial from 2019. Coming Apart, the 50th anniversary interview is 31 minutes long. The original trailer. Cron, Along the Avenue of Time is a 105 minute 2020 experimental feature by Milton Moses Ginsburg. Still experimenting, even in 2020. Milonga and a Lonely Station is a 5-minute 2020 short film, also by Milton Moses Ginsburg. Very, very interesting things. I realize not for everybody, but this is why I say we're in a very specific and unique time for movie history. Neptune Frost. This is actually still sealed. This just came in recently. This is I believe this is a new film, and it's Rwandan. Let's see. This is losing my words. I'm going to hold this up. This is getting a lot of buzz. It is the future of black film, pure cinematic power, says the Hollywood Reporter. Look at this: Sundance, the New York Film Festival, TIFF. Who is this? This is Cannes. Yeah, 2022 Cannes entry. What is this director? I can't read this. It's so faint. There's some blurb there, but I'm getting to the age now where I'm like, what does it say? You come here. You have younger eyes. What? Read this to me. Visionary, a journey of visual ecstasy. Mind-bending, an Afro-futurist fantasia that is also musical, a science fiction parable, and a hacker manifesto. Breathtaking, a queer, anarchic, and optimistic vision of the future. Really, really high praise for this one. This is making a lot of waves. It comes with deleted scenes, a trailer, and an audio commentary by the filmmakers. Check that one out. Olga. This is also from Kino Lorber. This is a Defiant film. This is about I'm at the point now. I'm like, I don't just read this to you. Read that. Check it out, guys. Any special features here? No. French, Ukrainian, and Russian audio with optional English subtitles. I notice that since I don't know if if it's been a concerted effort, but since the conflict, it's putting it lightly, but since the thing that has been developing with the Ukraine, I'm noticing so many Ukrainian films being issued. Like just in the last 3 months, it's just so many films from the Ukraine, which I guess is great because it's getting it out there. High Desert Kill. We're switching over to, who is this? This is Scorpion. Scorpion releasing in association with Kino Lorber. It's a Universal picture. High Desert Kill. Anthony Geary, Mark Singer, Micah Grant, and Chuck Connors as Stan. Dear Stan, I came to the desert, but you weren't there. Mark Singer, the Beastmaster. Let's see, I'm not going to read this to you. Anyway, I'm really interested in this one too. Another movie that I don't even recall ever having seen mention of before. Some of the stuff that's coming out, I'm just like, well, that's new to me. Chuck Connors is, of course, the rifleman. And in the spaghetti western that is so underserved, I always try to reference it when talking about Chuck Connors. Kill them all and come back alone. You start with spaghetti westerns with the Leone stuff, right? You're going to start with the Fistful of Dollars, Good, Bad, the Ugly, all that stuff. Yes, you also go with Once Upon a Time in the West and Duck You Sucker or Fistful of Dynamite. Yes. When you get done with Leone and you start to explore the others, you're going to go with Django, check out Kill Them All, and Come Back Alone. Kino Lorber put it out a year or two ago. Again, it might have been longer than that. Time has no meaning for me anymore. Like, I'm like, what day is it? What time is it? I don't know. This is another one. This is a Code Red title from the MGM archives. Don't Tell Her It's Me. I don't know, like, it's got Steve Guttenberg in it. First of all, look at the glorious mullet on the Goots right there. Great mullet. Jamie Gertz, who I love. This has been a good... When did Renegades come out? Renegades came out this year, too, right? The last 6 months or so. Again, time, I don't know. I exist beyond time. I'm in the Matrix. Renegades with... is it Renegade or Renegades? I can't remember now. Kiefer Sutherland, Lou Diamond Phillips, and Jamie Gertz. Also from the Lost Boys, which is about to get a 4K release. And I'm excited because I love the Lost Boys. Kyle MacLachlan and Shelley Long. And it has an alternate title. We actually have reversible artwork. So here's the artwork it comes with facing forward. And here is the alternate artwork and the alternate title. I might like that better. I think I do like that better. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and just flip that and reverse it. I'm going to put my thing down, flip it, and reverse it while we're talking here on camera. And, oh, hold on. I have a little bend. I want to make sure that I don't fold that. Okay. All right. Who needs editing? All right. So any special features here? Yes. Brand new 2K mastered. The Boyfriend School alternate opening title. Okay. So that was, I guess that's how it was shot. And then it was released as with the title of, Don't Tell Her It's Me. Interesting stuff. Trailer as well. This is some Cohen stuff here. The Burned Barns. Alain Delon. So, you guys are going to have to bear with me on my French pronunciations because I know, but I'm doing my best, right? Simone Signoret. And it is a film by Jean Chapeau. New 4K restoration. Again, it's a classics of French cinema. French cinema continues to be kind of a blind spot for me. I am slowly getting into my French cinema. I've had some box sets come out recently. I'm much well versed on Italian cinema. I'm even more well versed in Asian cinema. French is kind of an and that's interesting, right? Because French cinema is the one that's like, oh, but it is the film of lovers. Like French cinema is where you get the elitists, right? That's when they're teaching film in school. You're watching a lot of French cinema. High art is what I guess we're talking about. So this is a 1973 movie that has it's got a new 26-minute interview with the crew. Freeze it, read it, love it. Symphony for a Massacre. This one looks absolutely great. Jacques Deray, based on the novel by Hélène Renaud Fortin. This is a 1963 movie, which I'm going to be honest with you guys. That's speaking my language. Like I'm a 50s and 60s guy. I like 70s too. I mean, you look at me, right? Like I'm a 70s guy too. 50s into 60s. 55 to about 69 is my sweet spot, and then everything around there is shaded in, right? But that's My spotlight is like 55 to 69, and then, exploring on both sides of that. Of course, I grew up in the 80s, so I know all that stuff like the back of my hand. 1963, this has bonus features. This here, the score of Symphony for a Massacre, an evaluation of the film by François Gourif, screenwriter and film historian, along with Jean Rochefort, biographer. 28 minutes thing with the biographer Jean-Philippe Guérin. The re-release trailer here, the New York Times calls this the blood brother to Rafifi. The LA Times says it's a terrific and twisty story of larcenous plans being undone by duplicity and homicide as codes of criminal honor clash with old-fashioned human greed. That sounds great. Does this have a book? One of these had a booklet. Maybe it was something else that I'm thinking about. Also from Cohen, this is Apples. Is this French as well? It's got Cate Blanchett in it. Filmed by Christos Nicou and executive produced by Cate Blanchett. Hey, it's certified fresh by Rotten Tomatoes. Okay. This is interesting. I'm going to read just a little bit of this to you because I do think this is interesting. Amidst a worldwide pandemic that causes sudden amnesia, middle-aged heiress finds herself enrolled in a recovery program designed to help unclaimed patients build new identities. Prescribed daily tasks on cassette tapes so he can create new memories and document them on camera, heiress slides back into ordinary life, meeting Anna, a woman who is also in recovery. Through images deadpan, strange, and surreal, Greek writer-director, it's Greek, okay. Christos Nicou posits the beguiling reflection on memory, identity, and loss. This sounds like a really good companion piece to Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, which, of course, just got a 4K release from Kino Lorber. Bonus features, Taika Waititi in conversation with the director. I want more of that Taika Waititi. I know, I'm like... I appreciate Taika Waititi's commercial side. I like the guy that's pushing the boundaries and doing things like Jojo Rabbit, and like I want Flight of the Conchords. Like that's the Taika Waititi that I love. A conversation with director Christos Nicou and executive producer Cate Blanchett, moderated by journalist Ann Thompson. This sounds great. We have some DVDs here. They are still sealed because they just come in. Fire in the Mountains. What does the New York Times say about this? It's a critic's pick. A tough-minded, open-hearted debut feature embedded in humanism that is at once expansive and specific. An entrancing reverie of Himalayan life in India, says IndieWire. Also, Ali and Ava, I believe that's Ali and Ava, a film by Cleo Barnard. Look at all the 4 stars from The Guardian, 4 stars from the, what Times is this? The Times, I guess it's just, okay, and the Financial Times, 4 stars from the Financial Times. The Guardian says, charming and heartfelt, an understated triumph. Sparks fly as 2 people develop a deep connection despite the lingering legacy of past relationships. It was nominated for the Best British Film in the BAFTA Awards. All right, guys, we're almost done. I can't believe this is over 30 minutes. I was really trying to keep it to like 20, but I can't stop talking about movies. I love movies. Tay today. Hollywood Reporter says captivating. I know nothing. I'm sorry. I know nothing about this, but I want to do it. I don't want to be dismissive of this, right? Beautiful, sensual, humane tale starring Saul Williams from Neptune Frost and directed by Elaine Gomez in The Village Outside. Okay, I'm gonna hold it up and let you read it. And last, but not the least, The Wiggles, Emma. So it's 3. Is this Emma Volume 3? Bountiful? I know. Hold on. Over 2 hours from Emma, TV Season 3. I don't know what this is. My kid missed The Wiggles. It's just more a Yo Gabba Gabba generation than The Wiggles, I guess. Although I know there's some overlap there. I like, what's this about? So for all you parents out there, or if you just like to watch The Wiggles late at night, here's an Emma collection. It's 140 minutes long. Emma Wiggle is Emma Watkins. Very cool. All right, so that's it. We have done the August releases. And remember, The Outer Limits is also in here somewhere, and we'll talk about that soon. I love The Outer Limits. I I'll leave it there. I was going to compare it to talk about the Twilight Zone and the legacy of the anthology. I'll save it for the review for the Outer Limits. Guys, thank you so much. Talked about a lot of stuff. What have you seen? What do you recommend? What are you curious about? I like to talk about movies. I like to elevate the conversation to, the love of movies. So if you have a love for any of these, I want to hear about them. I want to hear about that Tim Conway movie and who's seen it. All right. Thank you so much. Thanks to Kino Lorber. So appreciative for you guys. Take care. Until next time, I will catch you later.